Okay, so continuing off from last time, basically we have to make the spine, and I had to clean mine up a little bit, so I'm going to recreate this again, and I just figured I'd put this for the first part of it. So if I did like the skeleton, like a spline handle, put this through here, like that, right? Hit the G key to do it again. So we have those going on, and I will rename those. Backspline IK. Next spline IK. Backspline. Next spline. Okay. Now just creating the controllers for these is going to be the NURBS curves, and the ones that we're going to use are the text. So I'm going to go to create at the very top, down to text option box. I need to go to the option box of text, click on that in order to put custom text. By default it would be Maya, and we're going to get Maya curves. Okay, so we do want this to be curves. We do not want any objects. And if you do objects, it's really a thing of choice, and then you could just put them to not render out. But basically curves we can select in our work area, not worry about them rendering out. I'm going to put N, capital N for S, neck. Put a capital S for spine. And the font is really up to you. Times New Roman is fine. I'm going to hit create. This goes to our origin of our scene. What we can do is move it up. And you're going to notice that this is grouped. So in our outliner, there's the actual curves. Okay, we're going to label those here in a minute, but let's just get them in a nice little workable area for us. So in Y, I'll type in 90 degrees, and they're set right there. I'll bring them above. Okay. In my outliner, I'm going to double click them and rename them. So neck manipulator, spine manipulator, once I label them, I will select them, hold Control to select the other one. Now Control allows us to not select the other group nodes. You're going to see that whatever is highlighted in light blue is selected. Whatever is in this kind of grayish blue or darker blue means that they're not selected, but something inside of these groups is selected, which is our children here, the neck manipulator and the spine manipulator. I'll hold my middle mouse button, pull them out till I see one dotted line that's across. That dotted line means that I'm going to drop those in between two objects and ungroup them basically. So I pull them out of the group. I'll select these group nodes, the main one, and hit delete. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to position these, and I'll pop out of this view and go into the side view. Okay, I'm going to position them based off the geometry. So I'll show the geometry, and I'll position these where I might like them to be. This one's going to control the spine, and the other one here is going to control the neck. Okay, I'll select them both, and I'm going to drop them down to maybe 0.5, half the size of what they are, because they're a little bit large. Okay, you guys can make them however large you need them to be. So I'm going to put this one maybe somewhere over here, and this one's probably good up here somewhere. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the geometry, pop out of this view by tapping the spacebar, popping into the perspective view by tapping the spacebar. And I'm going to move the pivot point. So the way I like to do it is holding down D and V at the same time. D puts us in move pivot point tool. V allows us to snap to point, being a vertex or a CV, control vertex, control vertice, or this thing right here, right? Little joints. So I'm going to drag this from the yellow part by holding down my left mouse button and dragging and letting it snap. And I'm going to snap the end to the well, not the neck, but the top of the head. Okay. I'll release first my left mouse button, then release my hotkeys. Otherwise, this thing might jump to something else. Okay. I'm going to select the spine manipulator, hold down D, hold down V at the same time, come over here, over the yellow little circle, hold down my left mouse button, and drag, snap it to spine 5 or the T, release my left mouse button, then release my hotkeys. And now we have made manipulators for this. In the next tutorial we're going to set up these manipulators, but first I'm going to shift select these two manipulators. I'm going to go up to Modify, Freeze Transformations, up to Edit, down to Delete by Type, History. And then I will also save this just in case.